you very much, Mr. Marcos. And could you introduce for the audience something, please?
My name is Strohmeier. I am the International Secretary of the Austrian Kongduan, the Austrian Trade Union Confederation. And I was working many years in international affairs, around 20 years. Before I was the International Secretary of the Socialist Youth in Austria, which is the youth of the party, of the leading party in our country. And I think my whole life was connected with the labor movement in Austria. Up to now, I always worked with the labor movement, so I had very close relation to Vietnam.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask you the first question. And how much do you know about the Vietnam People's Army?
Actually, I know a lot about the Vietnamese People's Army because I was reading a lot in my youth days, in my young days. We studied the achievements of the Vietnamese army because it was really an outstanding army. It is a very special army because this army had several victories in its history, fighting against the Japanese fascists, fighting against the French colonialists, fighting against the American imperialists, and lately even fighting against the big neighbor China. And always the army was a successful army. So the Vietnamese army is really an outstanding example. Therefore, I was reading lots of books about the Vietnamese armies. I have seen in television lots of documentaries. And as I'm very close to the Vietnamese people and the Vietnamese country, for example, we are sitting now in a Vietnamese restaurant here, which is called Saigon Restaurant here in Vienna. So the Vietnamese army was really a special case to be studied, I have to say.
In your point of view, what are the outstanding features of the Vietnam People's Army?
Outstanding is the entire People's Army, because what they have done, this is an outstanding effort. First, to kick out the Japanese superpower, which was in that time, that period of history, the strongest superpower of Asia. Secondly, the French, which was a superpower in Europe, which was the strongest country in Europe almost. And third, the biggest superpower of the planet, which was the United States. And even this superpower, the Vietnamese army was able to kick out. And also the tactics of the Vietnamese army was very special, because the Vietnamese army really used the people of the country, was supported by the people of the country. It was a true people's army. And I think this is connected with the success of the army, because it's a real people's army.
I should note that you have a good memory with the Vong Nguyên Giáp, so I would like to ask you the first question. And Vietnam people call their soldiers the alcohol soldiers. So how do you understand the concept?
This concept has to do with the person of Ho Chi Minh, which was the president of the independent Vietnam, the first president of this country. He was a strong person with lots of experiences he shared with his soldiers. And the concept of Uncle Ho is also connected with the youth of the Vietnamese soldiers. The young people were in the army. The People's Army was consisting mostly by young people. And I had the occasion in the year 2002 to meet General Giap. And he received me for a long talk, and he explained me. I asked him how you were able to defeat the strongest army of the planet, the strongest superpower, the United States. And he said to me, it was not me, he said. It was the young people of Vietnam. It was the young people in the People's Army. So I understood the concept that this success was strongly connected with the achievement of the People's Army and the young people which were in the People's Army. And if you see also the picture, I gave him a present, and I gave him a red bottle of Austrian wine.
Special.
It's a very special bottle, and I had to explain him. He asked me about the bottle. I had to explain him when I gave the bottle, and I told him that this red wine helps to prolong the life. And it worked really. He lived at least another 10 years. So I think this showed how strong is the Austrian wine, but how strong was the will of this person. General Giap was an outstanding person. And he explained me finally that everything was connected with the thoughts and the ideas of President Ho Chi Minh. He was the person inspiring him and the young people to fight.